Howdy y'all, I'm Ice Cold, and got damn shit has been going down lately. In the official Wizard101 test realm Discord this morning, the community manager Kyle Icewielder posted the following announcement. In bold text, the Crying Sky Raid second chance chest. Wizards, after the latest game update went live, an issue with the Crying Sky Ray was discovered. Unfortunately, the issue was only able to manifest in a live environment, so it wasn't caught by our internal testing. All raids were turned off shortly thereafter until the issue could be resolved. While the Crying Sky Raid was running, some players abused an exploit with a second chance chest. Chest items were being acquired prematurely and more often than they should have. A reminder that abusing an exploit is against the community code of conduct. For those players who access the chest beyond its intended nature, we are sanctioning associated accounts with a 4-week suspension. When an issue of this magnitude is discovered, please report it immediately to customer support. Don't risk your account getting sanctioned. So, that's a bit of a doozy. Fortunately, I was not caught in this. I've only done one Crying Sky Raid because it's designed so poorly, but the people that got their accounts banned for 4 weeks were... I guess I should explain the exploit to begin with. So, when a guild with their 12 people would get into the raid, the second chance chest would spawn, and nothing else would. And apparently the crown rates are super jacked up for that. So, but I mean, people still spent. People got the raid gear early, and like, need I remind y'all, it still hasn't been beaten. So that's why this is a whole thing. And some people have been using this gear in side activities like PvP. I know people like Austin the Sauce have videos on that, and I think he explained it pretty well. But let's be honest here. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second and say that these people should not have been banned for a mistake that the King's Isle team made. Kyle says here that it was only able to manifest in a live environment. So even if your internal testing couldn't get it, it still happened. So why are people getting banned? And I mean, obviously some of them, abused the hell out of this. So I think the people who did that are weird, but I mean, banning them for 4 weeks, that seems a little excessive. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I know that in the past they have rolled back specific individual accounts and deleted stuff from their backpacks on those, and I think that would have been a much better way to go about it, rather than sanctioning the accounts like they did. Removing the raid gear from people's backpacks would have been the better idea, because only a few people got it. They were able to disable raid portals Thursday afternoon, so it didn't become too widespread, but it was like, I think one guild, maybe a couple guilds, still got into it and hit the chest a bunch of times. So that's pretty much just the summary of what happened. Now, how would I have dealt with this if I were King's Isle? I think that I would have disabled the raid gates as quickly as possible like they did, but I would have deleted all of the items from people's backpacks, and I would have rolled back their crowns so that they would have all their crowns still, even the ones they bought specifically for the exploit. And for the people who used it in PvP, I would say a rank reset would be in order for that. Not just a rollback, but a full reset. Because some people, and I'll tell you one thing, the gear that came from the chest, there were people using it like using the wands, which give dual school pierce, which Like the current ones, like the Eon wand here, for example, this gives dual school damage and crit, but crit is not very useful compared to Pierce. But the raid wands gave dual school damage and Pierce, so they were making dual school setups much better, and when they shouldn't have had those items to make it be like that. So I think a rank reset would be good for those individuals that abused the exploit and used it in PvP, because I mean, an error on KingsIsle's part is one thing, but if you go and you abuse that error and just make the PvP queue bad and unbalanced because nobody else can get this gear, I think that's, you know, worthy of a rank reset. But I guess the bottom line here is that even though, you know, they abused an exploit, it was still KingsIsle's fault for the exploit making it into the game. So rather than banning people for a month, I think they should have just gotten rid of the items and done a rank reset, refunded crowns, that type of thing. But they didn't, and I doubt they're gonna really go back on the bans. So we'll see how that ends out. But yeah, and then there was another thing with the raid pet talents becoming a whole thing. Like I think the main one was that new will cast that they have that summons an individual school's scion into a player's hand, which, you know, that's deck fail proof right there. So I think that can be kind of crazy in specific situations, but if it were me, I would have just made that talent useless. Like, I would have just made it not give the will cast, because people have charged in powers for that, which is weird, but others have kiosked the pets, and now I think it's way too widespread to really contain, especially since they took a long weekend for just like a mental day, which is healthy, you know. I think all companies should do that once in a while, but it did make the issue compound, so I guess that's just poor timing. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that they're not even removing the gear from the banned players' backpacks. It's like, okay, so it's one thing to ban them, it's another to let the ban expire, and then they'll still have the items that they got fraudulently. And I mean, there was a recent patch that nerfed a couple aspects of the raid, but I mean, part of me just doesn't really feel like on November 1st the raid is going to be beaten by anyone, especially because a lot of the people who got banned from this exploit were some of the last people raiding, because a lot of guilds have given up. I am in Liam's guild, and we gave up months ago on it, and yeah, I mean, the people who are getting banned are the only ones still raiding, so I doubt it's going to really go anywhere. And I mean, people are just going to get unbanned on the 1st of the month and have the gear again, so not good for the game. Well, thank you all for watching this quick little video. I know it's coming out later than usual today, but I was farming all yesterday, and then the servers went down once my team stopped farming, so it's a whole thing. So this video is going to come out a little later in the day, but regardless, I appreciate it for watching this video, and be sure to like, subscribe, and leave like 50 comments for the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, y'all.